Hi, you guys. Dr. Melissa Mann here. It is Saturday late afternoon, and I am still at the office. I started working on Saturdays so that I could be home more during the week with the kiddos. So I posted a live on Instagram the other day, and I'm still learning Instagram, and I realized that that live didn't stick. That only stays up there for 24 hours. And I was like, oh, well, I need to do that better. But I liked the topic I was talking about. I was like, you know what? I think I need to come into Facebook and do that as well. So I wanted to just take a minute and talk a little bit about anxiety and sort of what I've discovered about anxiety and how I've been working with it lately with people and what has been making some really large changes, both in therapy and coaching. I like the coaching world more, and I'll talk a little bit more about that maybe in another live, but I just find that in coaching, people just get so much better results, so much faster than I've ever gotten with people in therapy. I think there really is something to not having insurance paying for it for you, showing up and being ready for change that makes all the difference in the world. So coaching has just really opened my eyes to what else is possible. And it's just been really amazing working with people as they are dealing with different issues of all sorts of things. I really specialize on working with people on self-confidence. But what gets in our way of self-confidence the very most is anxiety and fear of everything, right? Fear of screwing up, of not being good enough, of not being lovable, of not being worthy, all of the things that we tell ourselves. And on that, I realized some epiphany that I've come to over the last week or so is that all through my schooling, I was taught, sorry, I just realized I can turn lights on. Hey, look at that, there's light. Sorry, squirrel. I realized that all through my schooling and all the years of working my doctorate and everything thereafter, and all the treatment I sought out for myself and all the treatment I've helped everybody else get on how to overcome anxiety has all been about fighting. It's how can you fight anxiety, fighting the battle against anxiety, winning against anxiety. I mean, if you look at anxiety books, anxiety articles, everything is literally painting this picture in your mind of this battle where you are getting ready to fist up, let's fight the anxiety. What the hell? I finally put this together this week that as we talk about anxiety, what is anxiety? Anxiety is your fight or flight system, your adrenaline system, your amygdala on overload, which is this thing in your brain that is telling you, hey, danger, time to fight. So what we're trying to do with anxiety is to release it, to calm the mind, to calm the body, for all of those body sensations that come up when you're anxious, your heart racing, your stomach in knots, your lump in your throat, the clenching of your muscles, all of this stuff is a fight or flight response. Why the hell are we teaching everybody to fight? That doesn't make any sense. What that does is activate the fight or flight response. Oh my gosh. So I've been working on this for a while. I just didn't know what I was doing, but it finally clicked on why what I've been doing with people is working, is that I stopped teaching everybody to fight and instead help people to come back into their body, to recognize where they're feeling those symptoms and to have compassion for themselves, for their body, and to thank their body for giving us these symptoms of danger, because what they're doing is they're there to protect us. They're coming in and saying, hey, there might be danger ahead. Be aware of the danger. Now, we know that that's a misstep, right? That there's no actual danger here, that the anxiety, that fight or flight thing is coming in here and saying, hey, freak out. There might be a snake. There might be a lion chasing you. There's something bad about to happen. But that's not what's actually occurring, and we know that. But saying, I'm going to fight you. You need to stop. Leave me alone. That doesn't make us feel better. We're still fighting. So instead, what I've been teaching people is to stop with the fighting, to say, body, thank you. Thank you, brain. Thank you, heart. Thank you, stomach, for trying to warn me, for telling me that there's an issue. But I think it's actually okay. There's not really a problem here. There's nothing going on around me that is indicating that there's actually any danger here. so we can breathe. Thank you for your help, but you can go. And then we work on how do we release those feelings of anxiety? What do we do in our body to change those sensations? And that's one of the things that I teach people and go through with people is how do we have gratitude for our body, for our mind, trying to help us, just like you might have gratitude for the grandmother, no offense to any grandmas out there, who are like, oh, honey, this is what you need to worry about. You know, when I had babies, I was worried about all of these things. And you're like, yeah, thanks. That's not helpful, right? But you know that they're coming at it from a place of love, with a place of good intention, but it's just not what you need in the moment. But if we can address our body in the same way and address our brain in the same way of, hey, I get that your intentions are good here. I'm not mad at you, but I think everything's okay. And then we go in and get out of our head and actually go into our body, and so that we can actually change the body reactions that we're having. That's what I do with people. And I came to that epiphany this week, and I wanted to share it with all of my followers and viewers and everything else, that there is a better way to deal with anxiety than what we've been taught, and then what pretty much every book out there says. And I'm sure there are exceptions to that. I don't want to overgeneralize, but I know that what I've been taught and all the things that I was taught in school and in every book and every anxiety training for the most part I've ever been to is all about fighting and battling, and we treat OCD like this. So not to get into a super long rant, I swear I'll be done here in a second, but I have a patient right now with really severe OCD, and I was thinking about this in particular with that client because OCD is very much the gold standard is exposure and response prevention, which is all about what are you winning at, what is OCD winning at, and what is in the battlefield. Do we see the verbiage here? And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with this? This is why this isn't working. And so I looked at it with him this week of how can we do that differently, and how can we see it as compassion, and instead of seeing it as this thing outside of ourselves to fight, what if we viewed it as a scared little kid who's just trying to protect you and is trying to protect himself and is just freaked out? And how would you have compassion and love for that scared child who is trying to be controlling and saying, I don't want to go to bed. I'm scared, but I'm not going to bed and you can't make me. And come at it from that point of view instead of as this scary big monster that we don't have any control over, but instead like a child who just needs love and compassion. And it's not to say I cured his OCD overnight, guys. Like, let's be real here, but I came to a huge epiphany with him, and it made a huge amount of progress and brought him down to a much different, much easier to manage level. So we'll continue to work on that. This was like the first week that I was like, hey, let's look at this whole thing from a totally different perspective. And it worked. So that's my rant for today on anxiety. I feel like I have many other thoughts to come, but you know, I always post lives in my Facebook groups. I have an Authentic Confidence Collective, if that's something that's interesting to you to join. It's specifically for women, and women mostly in professional careers and things. I think if you click, there's a button that says join group here. That'll take you to that group. I also have a group for therapists specifically who are doing some energy work, and that's Therapists Expanding Energy. You can certainly look into that as well. But I think I'm going to start doing lives on my business page here too, just so people who don't fit into those categories can know a little bit more about what I'm about and what I'm working on with people. And all that being said, if you're struggling with anxiety, you're struggling with overwhelm and stress and just kind of feeling like you need some guidance or some ways to really kind of knock this thing out and make it go away and get better, go to my actual website, journeytopresent.com, and go through it or book a call with me. That's journeytopresent.com/call. And we'll just get on the phone. It's a free call and just kind of see if we're a good fit to work together. So I'd really love to join with you in that. Check that out. It's journeytopresent.com/call. And otherwise, I will talk to you all soon. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a wonderful Easter. Thanks, you guys.